Welcome to Fit by Food, where we outsmart binge eating without restriction. In this video, I will talk about why we keep on binging as if we are zombies. And let me extend this. So we are getting more awareness of why we use food to cope. And we have periods now that we're just not using food every day, but sometimes we still use food. And what is interesting with this pattern is that when you try to control it and try to negotiate in your mind that if I eat this, I will not eat tomorrow, I will eat less tomorrow, and you try to control that part of you, it does not work. It kind of gives this repercussion that you are not in control. You are not in control of this part of yourself, and then you binge even worse because you thought that you could control it with force. And this whole pattern, it's an invitation for you to learn that you do not have control, because it is a controlling behavior to try to restrict what you're eating, restrict your body, disowning your body, and then trying to get the upper hand by taking away the coping mechanism. That makes that part of you that wants food as a way to cope to freak out, because it believes that the blanket, the safety blanket, will be taken away, and then you are left with nothing. You are left with emptiness. And emptiness is the thing that you're wanting to go away from. You're wanting to escape from. That is like the hollowness that we want to fill with the symbolic act of eating. And if you take it away, the safety blanket, of course, you're going to unconsciously self-sabotage as a way to show yourself that you can't control this. And that is because it's not about food. It's about your own inner safety. And the sooner you realize this, the better. It's much better for you if you start to open your mind and see that it doesn't have to do with control. It doesn't have to do with restriction. You need something else entirely. And that's where we start to rebuild trust with ourselves. Keep the safety blanket, allow the safety blanket when it happens, but bring in this new way of relating to this pattern in yourself. Not judging and hating yourself for doing it, because that just makes it worse. We want to do an alternative thing here, which is forgiving ourselves, allowing ourselves to have this period of self-sabotage, and then guide ourselves lovingly towards what is my need. And that we do at Fit by Food by using food as a coping mechanism still, but we just change up the food items that we eat. So instead of overeating on foods that are not good for our body, our health, we change onto healthy food. And that does not mean restrictive, boring foods. There is so much colorful rainbow foods to eat on this type of diet. I never feel like I'm jealous of what other people are eating, because once you make that connection of they are eating things that are empty calories, that it's nothing that gives the body nutrients, then it's kind of like you see it as a pointless act of eating the other things. And also your taste buds change every 3 or 4 weeks or so. You also get more sensitive to the natural sweetness in fruits. If you have just eaten concentrated sugars in candy, for example, it's so concentrated that it's kind of like the flavors go like this. And in fruits and vegetables, maybe the flavors go like this, because the concentration of the sugar, the sweetness, is not as high. It's not as like this. But eventually you get more sensitive to this because your flavor buds get used to it. So the sweetness in the candy will feel artificial. It will feel too much. So this zombie-like state that we get into when we try to control this pattern in ourselves and try to restrict, and then the unconscious part of us just takes over. And that is when we go into zombie mode, because it's a shadow that we have not yet integrated. So it takes over, it hijacks the conscious mind, and then you're doing the thing that you didn't want to do, And then when you snap out of it afterwards, you start to blame yourself, feel guilt, feel bad about yourself. But it's because you have this unintegrated part of self-criticism and trying to control your bodily instincts. And that is because we have mind-body separation. The mind is trying to control, trying to predict, trying to be in the future to protect you. And then we have the instincts, the body that is just reacting to your thoughts. And if you're worrying and stuck in the mind all the time, the body will feel unsafe. And then you have, as a result, a body that is feeling very high alert, trying to self-soothe, give itself some safety. And then it's using food as a coping mechanism to give itself that dopamine kick. And if you try to make it not happen by being controlling, then it will take over. This is why this pattern never just stops by itself, but you need to address the root cause here. And if you want support with doing this, I do offer coachings. You do have the modules on the website and master classes and so much more. There's also my book, the Fit by Food Manual, on the getfitbyfood.com website. So check that out to get more awareness and understand what this binge eating behavior, this overeating, is actually trying to tell you. So remember, it is possible to get fit by food.